Good afternoon, teachers. Victor Yang here, and I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit about screen capture software. Today is going to be focusing primarily on the OBS Studio, which we talked about. But I do want to talk about a few other things. This video, at the beginning, I want to talk about the comparison between the different screen capture software that we're talking about, the pros and cons of each ones. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Zoom It tool, which is optional software that might be very helpful to you. Then I'm going to talk about setting up OBS Studio. As you can see, it's recording right now, and it's recording itself. It's like seeing itself in a mirror, so you can actually, it looks kind of strange, but don't worry, it works perfectly fine. Then I'm also going to talk about how to record with OBS. And then number 5, I'm going to talk about the VLC player. This is optional software. It's just a video playback software. And finally, topic number 6, I'm going to cover how to upload your videos after you capture it with OBS. So there's 3 options. You can upload it to either YouTube or Google Drive or Google Classrooms. And so there's just depending on what you're trying to do. Uploading to Google Drive, you could then go ahead and email it to somebody. That would be very easy, and it would be private. It wouldn't be on YouTube. But then you would have to email out the links every time. For every video that you create, you'd have to email the parents or the students. Or you could also, same thing, if you have the link after you create it, you could upload it to Google Classroom, which essentially just puts on Google Drive as well. But yeah, you would have to post it. YouTube, if you just give your students your channel after you create a channel, that would allow you to just give them the channel and just upload videos, and they would know where to go. They'd just go to that same place, and they wouldn't have to wait for an email from you. They would just check back on YouTube to find new videos. So I just want to talk about these 6 topics for today. So again, we're primarily focusing just on OBS, not on the other softwares. So how to use OBS as well as some other things. So let's start off with topic number 1, which is screen capture software comparison. So there's 3 different options, and let me just show you the pros and cons. Now again, I have not used Zoom or Google Meet very much. I've just used it for a little bit. I've been using OBS all year long, so I'm very familiar with that. So let's just look line by line. First of all, free to use. All 3, OBS, Zoom, and Google Meet, are free to use. Recording your own screen, like what I'm doing right now. What I see on my screen right now is what you see. It's capturing the screen. All 3 software will do that. Now, hosting a live video conference with students. So real-time live with students joining in. So you set up a schedule and you tell your students to meet at like 10 a.m. or something like that, and to be on, and you're going to start your class and you're going to have a discussion. So if you're going to be doing live video conferencing, which is probably a good idea for some courses where you have to interact, for example, foreign languages, as well as debate or anything else where you have to have a discussion, you're going to probably need the ability to go live. If all you're doing is lecturing, like what I'm doing right now and what I'm doing with pretty much all my classes, then you're going to probably want to stick with OBS, which is what I'm going to do. So live video conferencing with students, we have Zoom or Google Meet. To record that live event, so not just seeing it and having your students see it, whoever shows up, right? What if some students can't make it? What's going to happen? Are they going to miss everything? Well, not unless you record it. So going live is one thing. Recording that live event is a second thing. So again, Zoom and Google Meet can do that. Now, which of the 2 has more features? I would say Zoom is more feature rich. And so there's some nice features that come along with that, but it does come at a little bit of price. So if you've not used Zoom before, and I can imagine, especially if you don't feel like you're tech savvy, then Zoom might be a little bit more confusing, or might take a little bit more time to get used to. Whereas Google Meet is very, very simple. So I'm actually going to probably recommend Google Meet unless you've used Zoom before. Now, one of the biggest reasons why, even though having lots of nice features are, it's nice to have that, but this is the biggie. If you ask your students to join your live classroom using Zoom, each of them are going to have to sign up for their own account. And you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe your classroom, everybody will do it, but maybe some students might not want to do it. And so it just puts another hurdle in the way of getting our classrooms up and getting our lectures online. And so if you don't mind and your students don't mind creating an extra account, then that would be fine. But with Google Meet, you wouldn't have to do that because our school's emails for students and staff, it's already on Google. So there's nothing that they would have to sign up for. They would just have to log in using their CLA's Google credentials. Okay, so I would say if you're going to use only lecture style and you're not planning on going live with your students at all, I would say OBS is the better option. If you plan on doing live events either once in a while or all the time, then you probably want to use Google Meet. And so I'll save that for another video. I've just started playing around with it, so who knows, maybe this would actually become a better option than OBS, possibly because it can do both, whereas OBS, well, you can't really do a live meeting along with other people involved. Well, I won't get into it. Okay, so let's dive right into OBS. And, oh, wait, actually, I want to talk about the Zoom It software. So let me just present this right now. This is, again, optional software. You don't need it. I use it all the time. I've been using it for many years, even before doing screen capture and posting my lectures on YouTube. I use it all the time. If you have a projector and you hook up your computer to your projector, and you do that often in your classroom, then being able to draw on your screen would be an invaluable tool. Now, there's a lot of different softwares out there, and there's some that are a little bit more feature rich, but I do like Zoom It. And here, let me go ahead and let's go. Oops, that's my recording from before. Let's actually go and type in Zoom It. And yeah, right here, the first link or the second link, Zoom It, all one word. Click right there. Download it right here. I already have it. I already downloaded it, installed it. So let me go ahead and get that out of the way. And let's go ahead and type in Zoom It. Okay, so let me just show you what the Zoom It tool does. Once you install it, it's going to look like this, and you're going to want to make sure that you check this box right here that says Run Zoom It when Windows starts. Then it will always be on, and so you can always use it. Now, I'll just give you the basics of this. There's 4 different things you can do with Zoom It. You can do a zoom in. You can do, oh wait, hang on, my setting got messed up here. That should be Control 1. Okay. You can zoom in. You can do a live zoom. So if you zoom into even a video playing, it will still play, show the video playing. Whereas zooming in normally it won't actually, it takes a picture of the screen and then it zooms in. So live content like videos won't work. You can draw on your screen, Control 2. You can type onto your screen by pressing a T button when you're in one of these drawing modes. And then you can take a break, and I set my break timer for 5 minutes. So let me just show you what I mean by this real quick. Control 4 right now. If I do Control 4, which is a live zoom, here. Oop, it's not working. Here, how about, I think I have to cancel out of here. Control 4. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I guess I can't be in the menu while I'm doing it. So Control 4 will allow me to have a live zoom. So as you can see, my cursor is blinking, my mouse is moving, and I can scroll up and down. So this is a live zoom. I'm going to Control 4 one more time to get out of it. Control 1 is a non-live zoom. So I'm zoomed in, but as you can see, there's nothing there. And if I click my mouse, it stays on there, and it turns into drawing mode. And see, I can draw, draw, draw. Control 1 again to get out of there. Control 2 is just drawing without zooming. And so, see, I'm drawing, drawing, drawing. And Control Z, plus the letter Z will let me undo things if I draw something. And I can also press RGB on my keyboard to change the color. So R is red, so now I'm drawing in red. B is blue, I'm drawing in blue. G is green, and I'm drawing in green. Just in case your background is kind of colorful, it might be hard to see. So you can change your colors right there. You can also change your brush sizes, how thick they are. But I can't remember what the keys were for doing that. So I'll have to look at that later. Okay, so this is a really, really nice tool. I'm going to Control 2 to get out of here. Oh, how about escape? Yeah, escape works. Okay. The last thing is the break. So I'm going to do Control 4. Oops, no, not Control 4. Control 3. And see, I have it set automatically to 5 minutes countdown. As you can see right here, it is doing a countdown right now. And if I press the up and down arrow keys, up, 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 down, 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 I can actually set my timer to whatever I want. So I use this all the time when after I lecture for a little bit. Sometimes I have my students turn on their computers and try out an exercise. And so I'll tell them, oh, you have 3 minutes to try this out on your own. And so I'll put up my timer like this. And so that way there's no guesswork, and students can pace themselves. So having a countdown timer is very nice. And this is the only drawing tool that I've found so far that comes with a timer as well, which is really, really useful. I use this all the time. There's a lot of other programs that let you draw on your screen, but none of which come that I found with a timer on it. And so Control 1, Control 2, Control 3, and Control 4, but you can change the settings on that to something different if you'd like to. Okay, I'm going to press Escape to exit out of there. It is now time to talk about my settings. When you download OBS, you're gonna need to set up a couple of things on there. Let me show you where you go to download it. Let's see here. Let's bring up my browser here. Gonna go back. Oops. Let's type in OBS, and it stands for Open Broadcaster Software. All right, so I click on their website, and as you can see here, it's available for Windows, Mac, or Linux. So you're just gonna click on that. Most of you guys are probably using Windows. And it's going to download this file. You hit save, and then after it saves, you go ahead and run that, and it installs the program for you. Okay, I'm going to cancel it because I've already done that. All right, so here is what it looks like as you've seen before, and it looks really wonky because it's capturing itself, which is capturing itself, which is capturing itself. So it looks like this little mirrored effect here. The first thing you're actually going to want to do after you open this up is you're going to want to go down here. Let me zoom in so you can see. You're going to want to go down here on your sources, and you're going to have nothing in there. I have something in there because if I don't, it's going to, well, I'm using the software right now, that's why. But you're going to need to click on this plus sign right here. And when you do, it's going to give you a couple of options of what you want to add. So there's two things that you're probably going to want to add that you might bounce back and forth between. You're going to want to do display capture, which captures whatever's on your screen. And so I've already done that. That's why mine says already in here display capture. But I could do that again. I actually have two screens. And so I'm going to hit the plus sign, display capture. And you can name it anything you want. You can change the name. I'm going to leave that as number 2. I'm going to hit OK. And the next thing that pops up, sorry, where is it? Yeah, the next thing that pops up is this other window, and it looks really funny because it's showing me what's inside of it. But what's important here is, see, it has display and it has a drop-down list. And because I have two different things, if I click on here, you can see my first display, which is my left monitor, and my display number 2, which is my right monitor. Right, so I can actually choose which one of these I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on number 2 because I already have number 1 added. I'm going to hit OK. And so now down here I have two different options. And I can I can move whichever one I want up and down. You can see, ooh, look at that. See, I can actually toggle I actually have two screens right now, see, and I can actually toggle which one I want it to capture on the fly. You see, I'm going from screen number 1 now is on top, and if I click on this one, well, if I move this one up, now this one by default is my source, my default source. Okay, so this is my second screen actually, and there's nothing on there right now, but I can move some stuff there. Let's move my, there, I just moved my Microsoft Word file over there. Okay, hit the plus sign here. So again, that's how you do a display capture. Again, you're going to want to do that. The other thing you're going to also want to do is you're going to want to add your web camera, the camera that's built into your laptop, right above your screen. And so to do that, you're going to click right here, well, plus sign right down there, and then you're going to choose video capture device. Now, I haven't done this yet, so let me do this and you'll see exactly what happens. I'm going to click on here. And it's going to say, hey, what do you want to name? I'm just going to leave it video capture device. I mean, if you have multiple cameras, maybe you want to rename them. I only have one web camera at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And then, yes, that check mark should be there. Otherwise, it won't appear down here. And so you're going to leave that check mark check, like as in all the other ones too with display capture. Hit OK. And see, there I am right here. And if you happen to have multiple cameras, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to click down here. And if you have multiple cameras, like you have one that's built into your laptop and a USB web camera, you'd be able to choose it from here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead, and you're pretty much not going to need to touch these settings here. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And voila, there it is. I have that as my video capture. Let me zoom out real quick so you can see what's going on here. And look, you can actually see me, and this is really cool. I can drag myself around. Everybody's seeing my second background right now, my second screen, and I can resize this as well. Make that smaller, leave that up at the top right-hand corner. Let me go back to actually my first screen, because it's showing my video capture, and then my second screen. So let me click on this and press the up button there, and there I am. I know it looks really strange with it capturing itself, but that's what I actually want to do. Okay, let's see what else. More on settings. I've just talked about how to add your sources and how to, change which ones are your default by moving them up and down. If you hit the minus on any of them, you'll delete them. Audio mixer. This is pretty important here. So this is how loud your mic is. And so, every teacher is a little bit different on how loud they talk. And so what you're going to want is you're going to want to hopefully try to avoid this red area right here. Let me zoom in while I'm talking here. Okay. Oh, you can see it closer even there. Oh, thanks. Okay. So you can adjust this. If your sound is way too loud, you can actually move this down. So now it's -7 decibels. So it's going to be really, really quiet right now. So that's probably going to be way too quiet. So I'm going to move it back up. You're going to probably want to be somewhere just over this green area here. And the first thing you do when you do your first test is record yourself talking for a couple of seconds, stop the video and play it back, and just make sure that it's sounding and looking correct and playing back. So this is going to be up to you depending on how close you are to your microphone and how loud you talk. So try to stay, staying in the yellow is okay. Hello, hello, testing, testing. So I like to just barely get into the yellow, or midway through the yellow is about good. Okay. So let me, So I'm cutting myself down just a little bit because I talk kind of loud. I'd want to avoid the red for sure. Now this right here is your desktop audio volume. How loud do you want that? Let's say if you want to play some music in the background while you're doing this video, how loud do you want that to be? So it's by default, if it's 100%, you're not going to minus anything from the decibel. But yeah, you might want to lower it down. Now, how can you test this and make sure this is working? Well, if I actually click on my speaker icon right here and bring this up, if I slide this to the left or right, it's going to, see? It's going to actually make the chime. And you can actually look at this histogram, or this little bar here, not histogram, but, and it will actually, it'll actually show you about how loud it is. So this is a really good way to kind of Just see how loud things are sounding. Okay. All right, so if you need to mess around with that, you can mess around and adjust that setting. But most of you guys probably aren't going to need that unless you're playing a video for your students to watch in your video, which you could have just given them the YouTube link anyways. But okay, anyways, that's it for the audio settings. Now let's get to the settings. So as you can see here, I'm actually recording. Careful, streaming is a different thing, so you're not going to want to hit that. And I'm actually, I have the option to stop or to pause my recording. Now this pause button will not show up by default here. If you don't see this, you're going to need to make sure you change the setting. Well, I'm going to show you all my settings anyways, and so you're probably going to want to go ahead and use these settings as well, or something close to it. So let me click down here. The next thing you're going to want to do is go to settings. And let's see what pops up here. Here we go. Here is the settings. Inside general, English, let me see, anything important here. Yeah, okay, if you want another pop-up that says, hey, are you sure you want to stop recording or start streams, and yeah, you could do that. I didn't do anything with that. I didn't do anything on, I don't think I changed anything on this general tab. Let me zoom out real quick. Streams, you're not going to touch anything there because we're not streaming. Output. Okay, so here is where you're going to want to make some changes here. Now, what's important here, let me zoom in, is what's underneath this section here called recording. So again, I'm in output and recording. First of all, where do you want it to store all of the files that it creates? When you create a video with this software, where do you want it to put it? By default, I believe it's going to put it in a new folder called captures, which is going to be inside your videos folder. Okay. But if you want to change that, you can go ahead and change that. Obviously, I can't change it midway while I'm recording, so this button is grayed out for me, so I can't touch that. But you would be able to touch that, and if you don't know where this folder is, if you just click on, let me see, this PC, it is going to be right there. Here it is, videos. And captures right there. Okay, so all of my videos are in here except for the one I'm making currently, which is not yet created. All right, so that's the first thing you're going to want to make sure you know where in the world is actually putting your videos. All right, next thing is your record quality. I would recommend this setting right here, which is high quality, which is medium file size, so not too big, not too small, and the quality is good, especially if you are, especially if your text is small or there's little details like what I'm doing right now. If I had this on low quality, then maybe the font would be harder to read. Here is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to actually change the recording format. By default, I believe this is going to be set to MP4, which is a good, which is good, but I like MKV better. And then right here, you're going to want to change your encoder to software X264. Now, if you have hardware X264, you can choose that instead, which will be even better. But just choose, otherwise, most of you guys are going to choose software X264. All right. Once you do this, if you do these two things right here, MKV and software X264, what's going to happen is that pause button will actually appear when you press record. It will give you the option to pause, which is nice if you need to, take a little break, or you don't have something ready and you want to pause your video, and you don't want your students to have to wait for you when they watch your video again. Again, this is so that's very, very nice to have the pause feature. So you have to have these two settings set. Okay, another thing that is, let me see here. Let's take a look. I think I left all my audio settings the same. Video, okay, here what I would what I would change, I have 1280 by 1024. You're probably going to be okay at 1280 by 720. Again, I can't click on this now, I don't think. Nope, because I'm recording currently, so that's not available to me. But yeah, if you have the 1280 by 720, that would be fine. Or you can even do 1920 by 1080. That would be okay as well. But it just depends on, do you want a square or like a wide screen, or how high is your resolution. But yeah, I think the 720p or the 1280 by 720p, that's usually good enough. But if you need lots of details, maybe the higher the more details. Your frames per second, okay, you're probably going to want somewhere between 24 and 30. Okay, the more you have, the bigger your file size are, and the higher quality. And you really don't need anything above 30 unless you're showing videos or doing something that needs something really, really fast. And even on 24, you're going to be able, and to 30, you're going to be able to show videos fine. So I purposely set my frames per second, my FPS, down to about 24. But yeah, somewhere between 24 and 30 would be good for that. Last thing I want to say about the settings is hotkeys. So right here, you can set some shortcuts on how to pause and unpause your videos, or how to start and stop your videos, because maybe you don't want maybe you don't want your students to actually have see you open up the OBS Studio while you start recording. Well, then you can just use a keyboard shortcut, right? So shift space or shift to pause, and shift space again to unpause. Also start and stop recording. And so that would be a good idea. So I'm going to actually do that right now. To start my recording, let me just, and you can do a combination of keys, which is usually a good idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and do, I don't know, Shift F1 to start my recordings. I'm already started, but yeah, I can put the shortcut in now. And to stop my recording, I'll just do like Shift plus the escape key, for example. And so those are some keyboard shortcuts that might help you out. I'm going to hit apply and OK. And so now we're good to go. And here we are. So I am when you're ready, you just go ahead and hit start recording. This button right here, the second one. Now careful, do not click on the start streaming button. Start recording, the second one, is the one that you want. And if you look down here, it's going to show you your total time so far. Make sure you see this, because if you don't see this, if this isn't moving, it means you didn't hit start recording. And when you want to pause, you can just go ahead and press the pause key right now. I'll press the pause right now. You guys won't be able to notice, but I'm going to pause right now. Okay, we're back. I just paused it, and down here it said paused. And then when I clicked on this button again, then it started saying what you see right now, recording, and what minute and 1 second I'm on right now. So that's kind of important to keep an eye on. One time I accidentally hit the wrong button, and I was pausing when I should have been unpausing, and unpausing when I should have been pausing. And so basically I recorded the time when I was capturing the time that my students were working, and not capturing the time that I was lecturing. So you have to kind of be careful on that. All right, when you're done with the video, you're going to hit the stop button, and then, or you can pause it first and then stop it. Either way, as long as you stop it, it's going to go ahead and have that video ready for you. Okay, at this point, once you finish your video, which I'm not finished with, but once you're finished with your video, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check out, again, you're going to, here, let me just go there again. You can click on this PC and videos. Or, if you have your name here, if you have a folder with your name on it, mine is admin, I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And again, I'm going to go to videos. So there's a couple of different ways, and it's inside the captures folder right there. Okay, and this is actually the one, oh, is that the one I'm making? Yes, this is actually the one I'm making right now. So I can't verify that it works or not right now because it hasn't finished recording, but let's pretend, excuse me, let's pretend that one of these other ones is your videos. And so let me go ahead and double click on one of my previous videos for one of my let's do my graphics design class right here. Because you're going to want to double click it and make sure that it even actually plays and that the sound sounds good. You can actually hear yourself. So let me go ahead and do that right now. And here, let me move this over to my second screen so I can see the audio settings. Okay, I'm going to double click on this. Start recording. Okay, welcome to graphics design course. Today is Monday, March 9th. And we are going to start our final project for GIMP. After GIMP, we're going to move on to... Okay, so as we can see, it's working, and I can even fast forward through it, jump through it,
you're going to want some Taco Bell. Got my, right?
Oh, wow, Taco Bell. Okay, there's a Taco Bell plug.
Arm there, but on this part,
okay, let me see, what am I doing here? Ooh, I'm showing them how to get rid of this bat right here.
So you're going to have to be fuzzy of a circle. Darks are sand. Problem number 2.
All right.
Screen, that's about like 3. And obviously, that's...
I'm going to stop my video right there. You get the idea. I just want to make sure that it works and I can actually hear myself. Now, if you have trouble playing it, if you double click this file and it does not play, then what you're going to want to get is you're going to want to get VLC player. It's a little orange cone right there. So the way to do that is here. We'll just go back home and VLC. It's free and it's a great player. I use this all the time. So videoland.org, and for Mac or for Windows or for Linux, it is right there. And so you just hit the download button right there and install that. Okay, and so again, if your computer is not able to play back the MKV files that we've made, then you're going to want to install VLC player. Okay. I think we're getting close to finishing this video. We've talked about, let me see, recording, VLC player. Okay, all we have left is topic number 6, which is how to upload your videos. And so, again, there's 3 different ways, and all of them are pretty easy, and there's pros and cons for everything. It just depends on what you're trying to do and what you think is the easiest for your students. So I'm just going to show you guys really quickly uploading to YouTube. Now, first of all, you're going to want to go ahead and, if you don't have a YouTube channel, you're going to need to create one. And so let me see here. Let me open up. I think I have it. No, not in Opera. I have it in, I think I have it in Chrome. Sorry. I already have my account logged into there, I think. So let me close this one. Yes. Okay, I'm already here. Okay, so if you want to, you can upload to your channel. Again, the advantage of doing it this way is that you don't have to email your students every time you, excuse me, every time you post a video. You don't have to email your students and say, here's the link for it. Here's the link for my new video. Here's the link for my new video. Every day, you'd have to do that every single day. Whereas if you have your own YouTube account, which I've created using my CLA account, then what you can do is you can just post it here and just give them the link to your channel and just say, hey, here's the link to my channel, and I'll be posting lessons, every day or every other day, and so come out here and check it out. All right, so I'm on my channel right now because I am logged in and I have content here, as you can see. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on the create button. And, oh yeah, that was my, yikes, you know what? I'm actually going to delete this one. That was my test from before, which I don't actually want. So let's delete forever. I understand. Delete forever. Because I'm going to upload that same one right now. Okay, so I'm going to hit create and upload video. And all you have to do is either drag and drop your file right here or click here to browse for it. Since I already have this window open, I'm just going to drag and drop it. And I'm going to use this test one that I just deleted. From there, I'm just going to go ahead and this one right here is only, how long is this? It's only 45 seconds. So this is going to be really, really quick. I'm going to drag and drop it here and see it's starting to upload. And give it a name. I would I'm going to erase the timestamp. I just want the date stamp. And usually you're going to want to give it a good name, like, you know, the name of your class, like graphics design or something like that. Obviously, this isn't graphic design, and you might want to, you know, talk a little bit about your video and what it is. And I highly recommend timestamps because date stamps, that is, so that students will know which ones are which, just in case they get out of order. They'll remember which one that they've watched and which one they haven't watched yet. So that's probably a good idea to do. And when you scroll down here, it's going to give you some different thumbnail options for what you want the thumbnail to be. I never touch that. I just leave that alone. You can also press the plus sign here and upload your own picture, and that picture will be the picture of the thumbnail. Okay, audience. I always say no, it's not made for kids unless I have really, really young students like my 3rd graders and my 4th graders. My early elementary students, I say yes, but otherwise I say no for my middle school age and up. So I'm just going to say no this time. This doesn't really affect much on our end. It's not going to affect our students at all. It can just affect, you know, if you know, really young kids are going on YouTube, what is available and accessible to them. I believe that's what that does. Right here, I can actually see a link to what my video link will actually be. So I can hit this button right here if I want to actually even right now and copy that link. And so that's copied to my clipboard, and I can just paste that either to Google Classrooms or... So, I'm not going to need to do that to Google Classrooms because I'm putting on YouTube, but if you wanted to, you could also email this link and post it on Google Classrooms or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and click on next because there's 3 steps here for us to finish this. Hit next. You pretty much never need to do anything on step 2. Add cards, what this does is it lets you have a pop-up appear in the middle of your video. Now, it used to be much different. It used to be much easier and better, and you'd have like a really big pop-up appear. And if you made a mistake or needed to clarify something, you could do that. Now, when you add what's called cards, it's similar to what they had before, but it's a lot smaller, and it's a really, really tiny, dinky thing that just appeared on the upper right-hand corner of the video. And so it's really hard to notice, and it only appears for a few seconds. But if you did this and hit add, you could actually type in a short message and choose the timing of when that appears, and it give you a video preview so you can actually time it correctly. So you're probably never going to need to do that. I only did that one time, I think. Next, step 3. All right, I mean, pretty much all you have to do is decide what you want to do here. Public is what I always choose because I don't mind it being public. Not a lot of people are going to find me. And I don't mind if other people that are not from CLA find me. That's okay. And not that they really are. I mean, I only have a few hits per video, usually under 10 per video. You could also do private or unlisted. Now, private... well, let me just zoom in so you guys can see this better. Private, only you and people you choose can see your video. So there's absolutely no way to stumble upon your video, which sounds awesome, but also, well, I mean, that's, yeah, I think what you're going to have to do is, in private, you're going to have to go ahead and give the emails of every single student and enter that in. And then basically, that will send an email to them and say, hey, you have a video, it's private, and you can watch it. And they would be able to click through and watch it. But if they actually log in, if they don't log in from their CLA account, I think they won't be able to see it. And so it might be a little bit too private. What if they're on their parents' tablet and they don't want to log out of their parents' YouTube account just to be able to watch the video? It might make things a little bit harder on them. I've not tried this, so I'm just a little bit worried that might lock out, make things too tough. Unlisted, that would be the other viable option if you're doing YouTube, is only people with the link. So if you emailed the link or posted on Google Classrooms, as long as anybody has that link, they would be able to click through. They would not be able to go to YouTube and just search for you. Right now, if you go to YouTube and type in Victor Yang graphics design, you'd be able to find my page and see all my videos. But unlisted, it would not even appear in the searches. Only people with the links. And your students could go ahead and forward that to their friends and they would be able to watch it. I mean, not a big deal, but that's what unlisted would do, I believe. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. Depending on how long your video is, mine is only 46 seconds apparently. You know, it could take like my 30-minute videos, they usually take, once I drag it in, to YouTube, it usually takes up only about 5 minutes for it to be finished. So it doesn't take a long time, but longer videos will take a little bit longer. And again, here's the link and here is the copy. If you want to click the copy, I'm going to go ahead and hit close. And this should refresh, and here it is. Here's my new video that just popped up right there, and 0 views so far, and I'm going to delete it right away. Delete forever. Yes, I understand. Delete forever. All right. Now let's go ahead and do the same thing, except let's do, let's upload it to Google Drive or Google Classrooms. Let's do both. Let me see here. Let me go to Google Drives, my drive. And I am going to, oh, you know what, I could, no, okay, sorry. Yeah, let me go ahead and upload that. Really, all I have to do is drag and drop. It's the same thing. I could just drag and drop. And yes, you can put it in a specific folder if you'd like to. You can make a new folder by clicking on New and saying Folder. Otherwise, everything's just going to be thrown right here in your files. Your most recent stuff that you've uploaded or accessed is going to be right here in the quick access right at the top. But I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop this right here. I think I already have a copy on my... In fact, that might be it right there, right? No? Okay, well, I'm going to try it. I might already have a copy of this. I'm going to drag and drop it anywhere in here. I don't have to highlight any one thing unless you want to put it in a specific folder. Then you're going to want to highlight it. But I don't want to put it in a specific folder, so I'm just going to drag and drop it. Yeah, right there. So it's not highlighting any specific one folder there. And it's going to start uploading it. And since it's only 45 seconds long and a very small video, this shouldn't take very long. Looks like it's done. And see, it says version 2 because I have 2 of them. If I click on this folder, it's going to show the file in the location, which is very nice. So it'll jump directly to where in the world did it put it. Here it is, right down here at the bottom. Let me close out of here. And let's see. Let me click on the file. Oh, sorry. Now let me right-click using my second mouse button on the file. And get a shareable link is one way of doing it. That will give you a link which you can email, or you can actually just go ahead and hit share right here. That would be just as easy. And it's going to pop this up right here. And you can type in people's email addresses. And so this is very easy because again, our CLA address book is right in here, so I would be able to go ahead and type in something. So, for example, if I were to email this to one of my students, see, Abby, right there, so I can go ahead and do that. But anybody I type in, so if I type in myself, there it is. I can click on that and say, yeah, and I can add more people by typing in more people right there, right? And then you can type in a little note there. And yeah, you probably want to notify them with this. It'll send them this email saying, hey, there's this video here that I'd like you to take a look at. Again, getting a shareable link, you can go ahead and do that. Let me see what advanced does. No, prevent editors. Well, they're not going to be able to change a video. If this was a text document, they might be able to change it, but this is not going to be. Right, disable them from being able to download your video. Okay, nothing really important here, but if you're sending a document that you don't want others to touch, then maybe the advanced option is something that you might want to do. Oh, send a copy to yourself. That might be useful if you want to. You could do that. All right. Well, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to send this. But yeah, you'd go ahead and send it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to Classrooms. Okay, let's go ahead and go to my Classrooms here. And let's just pretend that I wanted to post it here. If I want to post my video here, just as easy, I can just go ahead and let's just say, oh, you know what, let's go into a fake class. I don't want it to notify anybody. Well, okay, well, that was last semester. It should be fine, I think. Classwork? Oh, no, stream. I can just go ahead and do it right here. And I can just make a post and add. Now, see, even when you post it to YouTube, you can go ahead and give them something. But I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, link, attach. Attach a file. Let's see. I think this is just going to go ahead and put it on your Google Drive anyways. So let me try doing that. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to, again, upload this same file, my test MKV. Upload that. And say upload. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so you can post your videos this way as well. That should work. The other options are, yeah, if you dragged it into Google Drive, I could also do it that way, right? So I can say, yeah, it's in my Google Drive already. I've uploaded it to my Google Drive, so go ahead and give me that file right here. So let me try it that way too. I'm going to X out of here. Delete that one, add Google Drive, and it's going to sort by recent by default, which is awesome. That's the one that I want. Hit add. Same thing. There it is. And the thumbnail even appeared on there. That's nice. Okay, X. And obviously the other option is YouTube. Right? And so you could either search right here, or if you already have the URL for it, which I do. Let me grab, well, I deleted that one, but let's put a different one here. Go to options and get shareable link. And it's copied to my clipboard. So now right click and paste. And there it is. I hit add on there. And so there's lots of different options here. And that is the end of my very, very long presentation about yeah, different things that we can do with OBS. I hope you guys hopefully understood my teaching, and hopefully we'll be able to get this up yourself. Feel free to ask me questions. I'm going to probably try to come in tomorrow to school and have some time if you want to come in. Let's just say from 10 to 12. 10 a.m. to 12. If you have any questions and are having trouble doing anything that we've done here, then just come into my classroom and I will give you help. I'm going to, also say this in my email, but and then tomorrow what I'm going to do, or later tonight if I have time, I think I'm going to try to do it tonight, I'm going to be testing out Google Meet and trying to do everything that I can do. The only problem is I'm going to have to set up some extra accounts because in order for me to go live, I have to have at least somebody else join me. And so I think I can do that. I have a second account that I can play around with and try to get to work. So I'm going to try to record that and also post that. But again, right now, my first recommendation is OBS if you're only doing stuff that is not live. If you want to do live, I think Google Meet. And possibly Google Meet can go ahead and take the place of OBS as well. So I haven't played around with it long enough. I'm going to do that right now and find out. Maybe Google Meet is just the one and done option for us. Okay, blessings to you guys, and see you guys tomorrow.